Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world. I am Dan Brody.
MJ up in the house.
I know Tina. I know Maria. I know Slick Rick. I know all of our great friends are watching because it's Thursday night. It's 10 p.m. A brand new Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty is now.
Merle.
Wrestling fans, we missed him in Tampa, but have no fear. Demolition Axe, the masked superstar, one half of the greatest tag team in WWE history, returns to MWF Studios in downtown Melrose, Massachusetts for two big nights. Saturday, May the 22nd, Sunday, May the 23rd. Axe will be taping historical episodes of Wrestling Insiders along with live shows featuring cyber autograph signings. Demolition Smash signed a limited number of photos when he was with us in Florida. Axe can add his signature to give you a beautiful collectible. Head on over to bostonwrestling.com to pre-order yours now and keep wrestling legends working.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world. I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
At Night of Champions 2020, Tribal Chief Roman Reigns successfully defended the WWE Universal Championship against his cousin, Jey Uso, in a must-see battle. Here is your chance to own a piece of Roman Reigns moments before battle on this beautiful limited edition autographed 11x14 poster direct from friends at WWE. It's number 19 of only 50 made. Includes WWE authentication hologram on the poster itself, suitable for framing and matting. You'll also receive a bonus Legends autographed 8x10 photo and an on-air shout-out on Wrestling Insiders as our thanks for helping keep wrestling legends working. Get this ultra-rare Roman Reigns autograph poster now. Boston Wrestling Sports and the MWF explodes into a new year of unknown with professional wrestling content galore, and we need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after we review the previous night's Monday Night Raw, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with the unpredictable WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights after WWE, NXT, and AEW at 10 p.m., you never know who's going to show up on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey through the 80s and 90s on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday nights after the lights go down at the Thunderdome on SmackDown, it's John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. If you want early, ad-free access to all of our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and to help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times, for less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome to another installment of Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Marty, as always, I'm very happy to have you here with me. You're always very jovial, in a good mood. We have great wrestling conversation, even if it has usually nothing to do with the topic we are attempting to have.
I found a pill over here.
Well, you're not sure if that was Tony trying to drug you or not in the
Yeah, but
Kleenex
it
box.
looks like it's like melatonin, like
Well,
sleep.
would you want to risk it?
Oh, I'm not going to.
You know, do you,
They ain't got no numbers on it. You
what
can't
would
even...
Tony try? Do you think Tony would off you?
Nah, man.
No, he's not that
He
angry.
needs
All right.
me. I'm
He
one of the
needs
few
you.
people that love him.
All right. Well, you know what? I noticed in between the last episode, I had to leave the studio for a minute, and they said one of the lights burst.
That one.
And I can kind of tell because you look kind of shadowy now.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta put it.
All right. Well,
Do I look shadowy?
I think. Well, thank you, Cecil. Well, you're an animal. All right, wrestling fans, let's get back to the year 1989. You said we skipped around so much. We missed so much 1989 because Marty's insane. Well, you know what? We're back on track. We're talking 89, baby. It was July the 18th, 1998. July the 18th, maybe my favorite day of the year, because that is baby Marty's birthday, but it was the taping for the July 29th, 1989 Saturday night's main event on NBC, one you really weren't featured on in a big capacity, but some interesting things took place.
One time I was seeing Candy Devine, the girl wrestler, Candy Devine, and you know, she had a hell of a body, good wrestler, tough girl, like her and Sherry Martel always wrestled at AWA, remember? Yep. And me and her, we had a little thing for a little while. And one time she got mad at me. We was making a road trip together, and Sean was driving. And Sean was, you know, Sean sometimes could be a dick if you had a girl and he didn't have one. He was driving like crazy, and he was like with the car like this, and he was banging her head against the road.
You were being serviced?
No, she was just sitting in my lap.
Oh.
And but she was telling me, make him stop driving like that. And I'm like, hey, Sean, stop driving like that. You know, like I didn't really care. And she got so mad, pull this fucking car over.
Really?
Yeah, man, and we got out, and she wanted a fist fight, and I had to run.
She wanted to have a fist fight with
She
Shawn
threw
Michaels?
her shoe at me. She took her shoe off.
Why you?
Because she thought I was joking when I said, Sean, stop driving like that. Because I was kind of laughing. He was doing this, and her head was wham up against the window.
Oh, jeez.
But man, it was snowy, just like it is right here in Boston.
Yeah.
Man, Boston is snowed under right now.
Was she when you got her alone, was she as sweet as Candy?
Pretty much.
Yeah. A little fellatio.
Everything.
And more.
Yeah.
And more.
When she would arch her ass up, because she had a butt, for a white girl, she had an ass.
Yeah.
And when you would lay on her stomach and arch up too, we're supposed to be talking about
Now, was
wrestling.
Sean angry about that?
But she threw her slipper at me. She took her shoe off and slung it at me. Luckily, I ducked in time. And then she came and tackled me. She came running and jumped on me. It was like a snowbankment. On the side of the road, Sean's in the car. And me and her got each other holding on like, fuck you. We're rolling down the damn hill. Anybody would have rolled by and seen that. It's like, goddamn, girl wrestler, a guy wrestler, fucking fighting, rolling down the damn bank.
Was Sean there when the incidents took place?
Which one?
With Candy Devine.
He was driving.
No. When you know.
Oh, the sex
After
part.
yes.
Yeah, one time, because he slung shit on her fan.
He did what?
She had a ceiling fan.
Now, was this at her home?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well,
she went to
had-
Candy's home.
Yeah, in Nashville. She was just when she lived in Nashville. And he poo-pooed.
Now, this was
in
during
his
the Jarrett's days.
Yeah, I don't know. When was it?
Well, if she lived in Nashville, I don't think you were going to drive down there from a house show in Minneapolis for Vern Gagne.
It was front desk. You're on TV. Front desk.
What's up, Marty?
Who's this?
It's Trail, man.
What are you doing, Trail? Hey,
What's up?
hey, what you doing? We on TV right now. Let me call you back probably about an hour.
Okay.
Say hello to all the folks.
What's up, everybody?
How you doing, brother?
What's going on? This Travis.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, we just sitting here doing this little TV thing. When's this one going to show?
I have no idea. This is
probably
you're
March
stuck
or
in
April.
the spring, yeah.
Anyway, brother, I'll call you back.
All right.
All right, bro.
Now, who was that, Tony?
I don't know.
You don't even know who it was.
I thought it was Trail, and that's my Long Beach
Well, that's
boy.
what he said. Terrell was
He
his
did
name.
say that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's Long Beach, and that's 706
Well,
area
who is
code.
he?
Well, Trail's my boy from Long Beach, California.
But it wasn't him.
Bad boy. A little bit of he got out of the gang shit. He's got a family. He's got
Well,
a
good
kid
for him.
now.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember from this Saturday night's main event taping, Hulk Hogan, leading into SummerSlam, defended the World Championship against the Honky Tonk Man. I guess Honky was a little stiff with the guitar and hurt Hogan's neck. You remember anything about that?
Not hurting
No.
him because Honky was pretty light.
Even with the guitar shots?
Oh, I never took one from him, but I would
Yeah.
assume. Well, you're taking a guitar over the head. How easy you want it? It's got to break.
Well, Jake Roberts claims part of the reason he ran into such drug problems is because Honky, I guess they didn't gimmick the guitar at all that they used on him leading into WrestleMania 3. And
that was why his drug
fucked his neck up. Well, no, he claims that's what made his neck so bad that he was in nonstop pain.
Oh, that's possible. Yeah, that's very possible.
He was in, as a matter of fact, that would have been early 87 by the...
Oh, that'd been before we were full-time.
Right before you were there full-time, but by the summer of 87...
I mean, you got to remember, that guitar, they gimmick it sometimes, you know, they gimmick it up so it'll break easy. You still got to lay it in there, man. Shit.
He had to go to rehab because he failed...
Who, Jake?
Yeah, he failed cocaine tests, and they tried to do versions of Honky and Jake 4 months in a row at the Boston Garden, but because of Jake's ailments and the rehab, they didn't wind up happening until eventually. It was very rare. It was an 8:30 start time, which I think they only did twice in Boston, at least during the era that I watched or would go. And they did Jake, Bruno, and Tito against Honky Tonk Man.
Bruno Jr. or Senior?
Senior. Okay. Against Honky and the Hart Foundation.
Did you ever meet Junior?
No.
Bruno Jr.?
No.
I think he came through AWA. I loved him to death, man.
Nice guy?
Yeah.
Good. Well, also that same night, it was an infamous night for tag team wrestling.
Tag team back again.
Your nemesis on the road for so long in '89, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, escaped the Worcester Centrum with the help of Andre the Giant as WWF Tag Team Champions, ending Demolition's historic run.
That happened?
That happened in Worcester that same Saturday night's main event.
Worcester's where me and Sean...
You don't like Worcester.
Well, I do like it, but one time we had to do a signing there, me and Sean. And, oh man, the line was shit. It was long. The Rockers were over at that time. And, you know, we hug, you know, when I say hug, you put your arm around for the pictures.
Yeah.
Arm, picture. And it was a lot of girls. And when we were done, we weren't even done yet, because I looked at Sean and I'm like, look at your he had a white jacket on. It was all dirty. And I don't know what I was wearing. He goes, well, look, he thought I was being offensive to us. Well, look at you. And I had shit. Man, they like damn motor mechanics there. They don't shower in Worcester. Back then.
Yeah, they're much cleaner individuals in Worcester now.
How do you know?
I frequent Worcester.
So you're probably dirty.
I shower at least once a day.
At least.
I'm not quite Mike Sharp level.
Don't tell me you take a shower twice a day. Stop that.
No, it helps me sleep.
It does do that for me too.
If you take a nice hot shower before bed, that'll relax all the aches and pains, even for a little bit, even if it's just enough to help you doze off a little bit.
You know what else will help?
What? Well, the seriousness of that conversation ended real quick. But let me ask you this. Even though it was kind of, you guys just went through the motions, through the motions, that's kind of a lousy way to word it. You and the Brainbusters, was there any thought or any talk?
Yeah, that was lousy. You tell them that and see what happens.
Once they got the belts, was there any talk of reigniting the feud with you guys?
I don't know.
For the championship belts?
No, we did our thing and that was good enough.
All right, we fast forward to, as you continue to your phone to go nuts,
yeah,
August 20th.
He gave my number out on TV yesterday, live TV.
And it certainly wasn't yesterday by the time this
is. A few weeks ago.
August 21st in the great state of Iowa, Andre the Giant is arrested for attacking a cameraman. I guess one of the local news crews. This is August of 1989. One of the local news crews came down to cover WWF because it was so hot. And Andre did not want his match with Ultimate Warrior, where he was doing jobs in 30 seconds to be taped. So he manhandled this reporter, and the eighth wonder of the world had to be taken to the can.
Damn, I missed a lot of shit.
Can you imagine trying to get Andre into the police cruiser?
No. Try to get him handcuffed.
I'm honestly, that's what I mean. You'd need supersized handcuffs. There's no way he could fit in a regular police cruiser.
Before Andre got mad at me, but he was mad at me because of Sean, but he didn't like us.
Yeah.
You know, because you come as a team. And but one time, way back when it was just NWA days, and he was in St. Louis, when we was wrestling at Kill Auditorium. But the St. Louis Marriott, I think it is, right across from the airport, was where all the guys would party. And I went in, and Andre's sitting there at the bar, big ass Andre. I can't do it, but he's standing there with his hands on the bar like this, right? But except his whole hand. And I'm like, Andre, you're not drinking. He goes, hoo, hoo, hoo. And he moved his hand. A whole damn beer can was hidden by his big ass paw. Yeah, man.
Oh, Andre, what a life that man had.
And he could drink, too.
Yeah. Oh.
Do you know Harley hung with him on the Harley race? Hung with him one time. Beer to beer to beer to beer to beer. And I think they said 150 beers were drank between the two of them.
And then Harley probably drove afterwards.
And I've told this before. Yeah, he probably. Ric Flair, one time we got to be the recipients of, or what's it called when you get, you get the beneficiaries. Me and my partner, tag team partner, Tommy Rogers, were riding with Ric Flair and Harley Race, and oh man, they competed on everything. Who had more money? Who was world champion the most times? Who could do what? Who could drink more? And we're driving, they stopped and got a cooler of beer. A cooler, like about a case or so of beer. It was four of us, and it was Harley's van, but Rick was driving. And they're drinking away up there, right? Wham, 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 drinking. And we're just casually drinking. And they were like throwing their beers out, boom, boom, throwing their beers out. Give me another one, give me another one. We're looking at each other like, fuck, we got to keep up. And then finally, after a while, Harley would throw his can out pretty much first. Flair would throw his out. And then Harley goes, Rick, let me ask you, why is it when I throw my beer can out, it goes ting, 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 ting. When you throw yours out, it goes plunk. He goes, from now on, we'll throw each other's beer out.
I thought there was a little cheating going on.
Yeah, and then he fell behind. He goes, from now on, we'll throw each other's beer out. And then Flair fell way behind.
That's a funny story. I like that.
Yeah,
oh,
man.
the memories in your brain, brother, from you and me. My God, think about it. You're technically in what? Your fifth decade of wrestling now.
That's what somebody
said. You broke
in
the 80s, yeah. You were in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 10s, and now the 20s.
And I might go to 30.
No, you'll make it far further than that, brother. Now that you're part of the Boston wrestling family, once we have those live events rolling again and we have you as a player coach, I can only imagine the wisdom that you can install into the...
What kind of wisdom can I give Tony, though? Tony Atlas.
He needs a lot of wisdom.
He thinks I'm a racist.
He needs a lot of wisdom. Far beyond that, he needs a lot of wisdom.
Far beyond that.
Mr. USA, we love him, but
I love you,
Tony.
Mr.
USA. But
stop calling me a racist, damn it.
Where Andre manhandled this, imagine a very tiny reporter compared to him.
Phone?
Huh?
Where's my phone?
Oh, please. You know where your phone is.
Oh, it's right here.
Were you surprised to hear a story like that Andre would attack a cameraman like that? Yeah, that's kind of violent.
But not really, because he didn't like to put up with shit.
Yeah.
If it's something that pissed him off.
He was the boss.
Paul White, remember, what's his name? Paul White.
The Big Show.
Big Show, yeah. He did something similar one time. And he's a big old boy. Not as big as Andre, but he's up there. And it didn't surprise me, because I've seen him do a few things on the airplane. Back in the day when we did cocaine and shit, when you're coming down, you get miserable. And I remember one flight where Paul was sitting, his seat was in front of this little pencil plane, but the seats he was in, right up against the pilot wall, are turned like facing everybody.
Like he was one of the flight attendants?
Well, yeah, it was sort of like that. Yeah, it was turned around, and he had to see everybody. He's miserable, and everybody's got to see him. He's got to see. He was mad as fuck.
Everybody was staring at him.
Yeah, he was mad as fuck, man.
And he was coming down.
Yeah, he was coming down off the coke, and then he got mad, and he was like, bam! He hit the damn plane. He hit the thing, the door, and the pilot's plane was just starting to move. And they slammed no brakes. They opened the door, and he's like, "Get me another fucking seat." And
really?
they hurried up and got him another seat. But he's so big, he couldn't fit in him real good. But so what I was gonna say, I've seen him do things like explode like that. But he was at I don't know where, maybe Des Moines, Iowa again. A lot of shit happened there. But he was going to check in a hotel.
Now this is Andre or Big Show?
Big Show.
Okay.
And somebody, he had maybe going through a divorce or something with a lady, and somebody ran up and fucked with him about it. How's your divorce going?
A fan?
He drilled them.
A fan?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't even know if they
Jesus.
were a fan or asshole. What they were.
Well,
But,
I mean, but it
yeah.
wasn't one of the boys.
No. And boy, his fucking hands like twice this, and they said it crushed the guy's face when he hit him. And he went through a lawsuit and all that shit. I don't know what happened, but
It's always something that the wrestlers have to be sued when they retaliate to someone fucking with them.
Yeah, you know what? One time with Jake Roberts, when they were doing the thing with Cheryl, Cheryl,
Yep.
it was splitting off, whatever it was. It's somewhere in California. I don't remember if it was San Francisco, San Diego, LA. It was somewhere out there though. It was in California, and the ringside guys were screaming at Jake, "Hey, I fucked Cheryl last night. Cheryl's got good pussy. Hey, fuck." Now they were actually really going through something in real life.
Oh, and the fans didn't even know that, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think they did.
Oh, they
That's
did.
why
They
they
were
were
smart.
doing it,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
And so he peeled out the ring, but I don't think he ever hit him because he would have got in trouble. They could sit there and call his wife a whore and they
Yep.
fucked her last night. But if he goes out there and drills them for saying that,
You're the one in trouble.
Yep.
You get sued, you go to jail.
yep,
I don't get that.
I don't
But that's
either.
the world we live in, I guess.
yeah.
But anyway, you said so with Andre, you're not exactly surprised that he manhandled the camera guy and destroyed
I
the
wish
camera.
I could remember it though.
He
'cause
destroyed the camera.
I
The
bet he
boss
did.
had spoken.
He probably ate it.
All right, onwards to SummerSlam 1989 from East Rutherford, New Jersey. It was a gift to the state of New Jersey, where we remember, as we discussed
East
earlier.
Rutherford?
Yep.
I love that place.
We discussed earlier in 1989, Vince and Linda McMahon exposed to New Jersey that professional wrestling was not a legitimate sport, so to speak.
Was that in '89?
Yes, and to...
You know what they did? They got out of the athletic commission.
That's it. They didn't have to pay the tax. And in addition to WrestleMania taking place in Atlantic City, New Jersey that year, SummerSlam took place in the Meadowlands, East Rutherford, New Jersey.
That was a good
You
place,
were
too, man.
involved in a six-man tag team matchup. The model Rick Martel and the Rougeau brothers went over on you and Tito Santana, kind of a hometown guy.
Who
I
went over?
believe Tito was in Jersey at that point.
Who was it?
It was
Tito?
Rick Martel and the Rougeaus
Oh,
against you and Tito.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the Rougeaus' music kept playing through the match. I think that may have given something away.
Yeah, tip off. You know what? Harley Race's wife one time, she wanted to change things
Now,
up.
which wife?
I don't know.
BJ?
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, are you talking later in life or earlier?
This would have been in 1985.
This wouldn't have been BJ then. Okay.
Yeah, it was one of his.
He had one wife that was
You know, I
wonderful.
asked him one time. We was in Japan, Tokyo, Japan, at Ribera Steakhouse.
Oh,
which is,
you know I want my coat.
Yes. And we're sitting there, and it was for me. It was like, wow, because everybody comes back with a Ribera steak jacket. That's like you made it when you go to Tokyo and you get that jacket. And man, he's so good to us. They don't have, like in most countries, meats are so small. I mean, it's like a bird would go, fuck that. But he give us a big ass shit. And it was on a skillet and it'd be fried rice on there. Oh my God, it was so good. But you had made it when you went to Ribera's, and he'd always give us the American wrestlers a jacket. And I got my jacket, I'm all proud, and Harley's sitting there, and I love him to death. And I wanted to take pictures. Like, Harley, let me get a picture. And he just looks up at me. and I said,
He
Harley.
pretty much had one pause, yeah.
Yeah. I said, Harley, why don't you ever smile? Because he didn't smile for the picture. And he said, the last time I smiled, it cost me $250,000. I'm like, what? He goes, my ex-wife.
Oh, that's funny. Ali is an interesting character.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
Wrestling fans, right now we're going to take a brief time out. When we come back, we're going to talk more about a big Monday night in August of 1989, SummerSlam. Feel the heat.
Where we going?
Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marati.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It's all over BostonWrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now, available on eBay.
Cheer. Why, hello. I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as...
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. We're talking SummerSlam 89. Feel the heat with the man who was part of one of two big six-man tag team contests that night. There were a lot of tag team matches at SummerSlam 89. Any memories of you and Tito and Sean taking on the Rougeaus in the newly repainted model Rick Martel? A heel now all of a sudden, with the Rougeaus music playing during the match.
What? No. Well, so I was going to tell you before we went to break about Harley, his wife.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like the music playing during the match. She had this idea. Harley's wife at that time, back in 1985, way back, whoever that might have been. But she had an idea that once you started making your comeback, she'd hit the music and play your music, your ring music during your comeback. And I forgot who it was that Harley was wrestling against, but she had got it wrong, and she hit the wrong one, and they came out to country music. And Harley goes, I'm out there making a motherfucking comeback, and all of a sudden I hear this zing ding 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 ding.
Harley's wife would play the music.
Yeah, she thought it would be cool to play music during the comeback.
This is like the Kansas City territory?
Yes, yes.
Almost like what you're talking about, like you'd see at an NBA game to try and rally a team almost,
but
Yeah.
it just didn't work. It didn't work with the shit.
It doesn't sound like it.
No, it didn't.
Would take the drama
Harley
away
was
from
like, he even called her a bitch. Stupid bitch.
Any memories?
I'm sitting there making a comeback, and I'm hearing zing ding 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 ding.
Any memories of that match at SummerSlam?
When the music kept playing?
Yeah. No, not one of your favorites?
No, I love them all. You know, as I've gotten older, I keep forgetting things that aren't important. And unfortunately, there's about 13 of my girlfriends. I forgot who they were. No, it's true though. The ones from a few years back. But luckily, I don't know why. I guess God bless me, but I still got so many girlfriends. Being on, how old am I now? 908.
52 and a half.
52 and a half. And still lucky enough to have a whole bunch of girlfriends. But because of my age and because of the show.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store. Check it out.
Arguably the greatest professional wrestler of all time. Get this limited edition collector's autograph print personally signed by two-time WWE Hall of Famer Nature Boy Ric Flair, inscribed 16 times for each of his recognized World Championship reigns. One of only 50 made direct from our friends at WWE. Also signed by original artist Rob Schamberger. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome Ric Flair collectible for your wrestling collection now.
Well, wrestling fans, here we are in the middle of an episode, and what do we usually say? We have the same clothes for weeks. Not this time.
No, you changed.
You like
That's
to say,
I
you
kind of like,
changed,
man, you got some big arms.
You changed, man.
You don't even work out.
No.
How you got arms
I got
like
it. Tony's, like I said, Tony's got a program for me, but we ran into some technical difficulties with the wonderful crack staff we had yesterday.
No,
Cecil
they were good.
Malone
No, don't do that.
And
they were
John
good.
C.
They
Reilly.
were very good.
But they just, they didn't record half
I
of the episode.
think you messed up.
Oh, no.
They said the full drive was full.
Well, that was 2 days ago.
Oh.
And we
well,
replaced it.
you fixed
All
it.
right, let's continue to barrel through SummerSlam 89. This is going to be the most focused Marty Jannetty you have ever seen on these upcoming episodes of Wrestling Insider's
I don't
Party
know about
with
that,
Marty.
but go ahead.
We got a lot of work to do before Elimination Chamber tonight, before we go live with autographs.
Is Sasha
and all that
Banks
fun
gonna be
stuff.
on it?
I believe she is in a tag team match.
I'm going to watch.
All right, even if she wasn't, we'd still be watching. But SummerSlam 1989, we began to talk a little bit about your six-man tag team match. You and Sean and Tito Santana lost to
Rick Martel and the Rougeau brothers in a
purpose.
six-man tag, and the Rougeau's music played throughout the match. Was that an annoyance to you? Did it
I
kind of
really
give the
don't
finish away?
remember that. It's something like you would remember. You're right in the middle of ging, ging, and the music plays. You're like, what the fuck? That was, you would think you'd remember that. But I've done a lot of drugs, and plus I'm older.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have to say yes to that. You just agreed
You don't know
to
which
it.
one I answered. I agreed to.
The drugs, you was already doing this.
Well, I tell you this, even as I would have been, 9 at that point.
Damn,
even
you're
then
young.
I said, the Rougeaus and Rick Martel are going to win.
They what?
I said, the Rougeaus and Rick Martel are going to win.
Did you know?
'Cause
Rick,
it was like they
did
had
you
the
know Rick
music
Martel
cued.
goes both ways?
Yes.
Why do you know that?
From sea to shining sea. Well, I heard many stories over the years before some of your more in-depth ones about the
Well, Hogan, I think, might go both ways.
the Hulkster.
I don't know
You don't
that. And I
know.
love you. You know I love you, Hope. Not like that. But I love
Well,
you.
if it makes him happy.
Yeah, if it makes
know,
you happy,
maybe
then why are
those-
you so damn
maybe those were the
sad?
vitamins he was talking about over the years for
Yeah.
everybody to take.
There he is. What's up, brother?
And for our friend that has just joined us in the studio, there is a little heater over there. If you want to move a little closer to that, we leave it at your discretion.
Yeah,
But,
because
as
he
we
got
can-
us freezing in this motherfucker.
So nothing stood out about that big six-man tag.
Well, Rick Martel had a hard on.
Rick was horny during the six-man.
I don't know if he was horny. He had a hard on.
Well,
No, I'm kidding, Rick. I love you, brother.
I don't know why else he would, but
You know what Hogan said one time, though?
what did he say?
I can't save the world. Me and him were riding together, and me and him up front. I forgot who was in the back. I think Sean and maybe Beefcake, but whoever it was. Me and Hulk were up front, and we were talking. And he goes, I can't save the world, brother. And I'm like, why would you try? I want to help all my people. The last one I'm gonna try to help is Rick Martel.
Really?
Yes.
He really didn't like Rick.
No, he was going to help him.
But you said
The last one he's going to try to. He couldn't save the world. He couldn't save everybody, but he was
but
going
the
to try.
last one that he was going to try to
Rick
help was
Martel.
Rick. Huh.
Yeah.
Now that's interesting. I
And
wonder what he meant
Rick's a
by
good
that.
brother, man. Rick's a real good brother.
Didn't Hogan usually travel by limousine?
I don't know about usually, but sometimes yes. But,
But
that
they-
was for a big show like
He'd be on the
pay-per-views.
roads. He'd be on the road in the cars with you
Yeah.
guys too. Oh, I didn't know that. I was always under the assumption through secondhand stories that he was a
would you
limo
assume?
guy. Well,
You know what they say about
Warrior was
assuming?
once Warrior was on top, he was always a limo guy, wasn't he?
Not always, no.
Really? Oh, sometimes
lot,
Warrior
a
had
lot.
rent-a-cars?
It was always for pay-per-views, where
Yeah.
there's going to be a big crowd of people.
I got you. Oh,
I'm sorry about my tooth, y'all.
well, there we go. Well, that's the first of many apologies for your paper tooth. But, Marty,
No, this is napkins.
As we
Is that
discussed
paper?
in the original version of this show,
It was
didn't
salty.
get recorded last night. What I found odd was Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, brand new tag team champions. They went on to face the Hart Foundation at SummerSlam in a non-title match. Now, as we mentioned, wrestling logic usually would assume that in a non-title match like that, the Hart
That's what you
Foundation
said.
would get the win.
That's what
and
you
they'd
said.
go on to have a title match.
Yeah, that's what you said when we thought we was recording yesterday.
Right. But for whatever the reason, WWF decided to have, even in a non-title
They're not,
match,
they make mistakes.
for Ron and Tully to go over. Now, I don't understand why they just didn't have it be a title match.
They make mistakes.
They made a mistake on that one, I think. And if I remember from
They're
Brett's,
not perfect. It's hard to be perfect.
that era,
I
they
was
were-
perfect for like 2 years, and then all of a sudden I made a mistake, and I'm like, gosh, damn it.
What 2 years were you perfect? The
1988,
two before you came out of the
1989.
womb? Oh, okay.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. No, my mom got mad as hell. I told you I came out and slapped the shit out of the doctor, took a cab to the club, and been partying ever since.
Well, you know what? You've had a fun life, Marty, if nothing else. What you don't have in the wallet, you have in the memory bank, and you have in the experience
And
vault.
Katie. Katie's a Boston girl.
Katie's the Boston girl. No, we won't tell Maria.
That's your girl.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
my
know her
Maria.
that well.
My Maria.
I don't know Maria as well
Maria's
as you do,
too young.
apparently.
I can't see her no more.
Well, I
I'm
leave that at
hoping.
your discretion.
I'm hoping
I leave that at
27.
your
She might
discretion.
be less than 27.
Also on that show, we mentioned Ultimate Warrior
Hang on.
ravishing Rick Rude. Roddy
What did you and Tony do
I
to
have
this?
no idea what happened
It's
to that.
salty.
We found drugs in the bottom of the Kleenex.
Yeah, it's
Kleenex
over here
box
somewhere.
yesterday. I don't know if Tony was trying to plant anthrax in there, knowing you were coming to try and take you out once and for all.
Tony, stop it, damn it.
No, I do not. I cannot answer that question.
What did you took the pill, it's gone.
I don't know where
I left
is.
it right
And
here.
You know how bad my vision is. I couldn't. If it was the size of a quarter,
Somebody
I probably
ate it.
couldn't make it out. But
It was a little. Oh, is that the thing? Okay.
well, we'll wait till the next time out for that, sir. Ultimate Warrior ravishing Rick Rude for the Intercontinental title. As we mentioned, Roddy Piper was trying to make his way back into the fold after that WrestleMania 5 kind of a one-off and a few sporadic appearances he made. Rowdy came out and he, after Bobby Heenan would bust his balls about what was under the skirt, he showed what was under the skirt. He mooned Rick Rude, leading to Rick Rude being distracted and the Ultimate Warrior to become a two-time Intercontinental Champion as he began that long series of matches with Andre the Giant on the road afterwards when he'd squash Andre in 30 seconds. Was it an enhancement to the locker room to have someone with Roddy's star
Well,
power
what had
back?
happened was when Warrior and Rick Rude were doing their program, you know, their thing. Warrior was stiff. He hurt you like when he kicked you, and it looked good because he was kicking the shit out of you. And Rude didn't go for it, and he told him, "I don't do that no more. If you can't kick, don't kick." Warrior did it anyway, and the next day, and the third day, Rude told us all, and he goes, "He's hurting me every night," and I've told him. And then they went to the ring that night, wherever the hell it was, somewhere in the Midwest, and I guess Warrior kicked him like in the chest, like he would be on his knees, and you could see the look on Rick's face, because Rick was a badass. Warrior was just a big ass. Rude was a badass. And I'm sorry about the tooth, but we were at Topeka, Kansas the next day, and Rude, we got there. Rude was never early. Rick was never early. He was early that day. And me and Kurt Hennig and Shawn Michaels had all rolled together. And we come in and Rick's already sitting there and we're like, fuck, he's early, what the hell? And he's already drank 3 beers.
Oh, really?
Yes, before the match.
For Rick or no?
What's that?
Would that be typical for Rick or no?
No,
really?
not
Okay.
at all. No, that's why we were like, what's going on? And Rick said, I've told Warrior 3 days in a row, stop hurting me. If you can't kick right, don't kick. He goes, let's see who hurts today. It was a day show, like a 1 o'clock show. And we're like, oh shit. And sure enough, they went out to the ring, you know, they wouldn't do their match. And I can still see it. Rick was a Golden Gloves boxer. You know, he was a champion, he was pretty good, he would fight. He hit Warrior right in the chest, boom, right here. And you could see, we were way in the back, we seen Warrior's face go. And then he snapped, married him, put him in a rear chin lock, and we saw him whispering, or you know, talking. And we had no clue, right? But as far as what we saw the rest of the match, at the end, Warrior, Rick Rude, like, stole the belt. That was the finish type thing. He just took the belt, and he goes down the aisle, and Warrior comes, you know, chases him and gets it. Rick took the belt, walks down the aisle, and Warrior comes chasing me, turned around and squared off with him, and Warrior stopped. He was like, because he was supposed to get the belt, you know, yank it back.
Yeah.
But Rick was like, come on. But we asked Rick, we said, what was that you were, like when you had him in the rear chin lock, and he snapped the shit out of him too. What were you saying? He goes, I asked him, I said, do you want to work or do you want to shoot? And he said, Warrior said, work. Yeah, Rick was a bad boy, man.
Well, I remember Bobby Heenan saying that, you know, when they had these crazy series of weasel suit matches the year before, when it would be the Warrior against Bobby. I mean, he treated Bobby like he was just, you know, an enhancement guy, like he was a piece of garbage. He just threw him around like he was nothing, and he hurt Bobby.
I love Warrior. You know, he's gone now, so I can't tell him in person. I love him to death, but he was an asshole.
Really?
Yes.
He was that difficult to deal with?
Not for me, but for others.
You really didn't have to work with him.
No, but I mean, I told you, I think I told y'all, he would get his own little dressing room, even if it was a closet. He didn't want to be in the same dressing room with everybody. He hated that. And when the guys, he would have the closet door open because it'd be 100 degrees if he didn't. But when everybody would walk by, they were like, "Hey, Warrior, hey, how you doing?" And as soon as they walked past, "Oh, go fuck yourself." I was there to see that all the time, right? And then one time I was walking by and he had the closet thing, and I was like, "Hey, Warrior," and I went past the closet and I backed up real quick, and right as he was doing this, he goes, "I knew you would look back." Nah, fuck you, Warrior. I caught him doing it to me too, and I'm his only goddamn friend. Him, me, and Jimmy Powers. He loved Jimmy Powers too.
Warrior did?
Yes.
Oh. Do you think that Rude was happy to move on to, say, 6 or so month program with Piper on the house show loop after SummerSlam?
I would have been. Yeah. Because that's money.
Well, Roddy could go too, as we've mentioned before, if he wanted to.
Yeah. You know, one time I almost stroked him up.
You almost what?
Stroked him.
Stroked him up.
Well, you know, bam, bam, bam.
Oh, all right. Oh, I misunderstood. I'm sorry. What happened with you and Roddy?
Well, because of the Shawn Michaels.
Oh, you mentioned that in a recent episode.
Yes.
That's right. Okay. Again, moving along.
And I love Roddy, but I didn't appreciate.
You didn't like that situation?
No, he let me and Shawn. For y'all that didn't hear this, me and Shawn got in an actual fight. I'll do it real quick.
All right.
And you know, Shawn can't fight, and I didn't want to be, you know, doing that to him. But he made me do it to him. But Roddy Piper, we went to like a little deputy, Barney Fife deputy comes out the elevator, right? Because you hear the ding, and here he comes walking out, and I'm full pissed off. I'm like, "What are you gonna do, bitch?" And he was like, he went back in the elevator, hit the button, and they came back with like real police. They actually
real police. Okay.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said it that way. I'm sorry. That was horrible. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We're used to it.
But they, the one dude in particular came out, and again I was still pissed off. "What are you gonna do?" And he pulled his gun out.
He was gonna do that.
Well, he pulled it, and I was like, "What are you gonna do? Shoot me?" And I kept walking toward him, and I remember his words. He goes, "Son, don't make me do this." And he raised it. He kind of raised it. And thank God, one of my girlfriends, Ann, she was like, "Marty," like, because I was in a trance. You know, I was in a trance. I was locked.
Yeah, you snapped. You were in a fight.
Yep. And she yelled, "Marty," and it kind of snapped me out of it. And I'm like, "Oh shit, what am I doing? This brother's got a gun on me." They cuffed me up, took me downstairs, were taking me to jail. And, you know, I had blood all over me, you know, because Shawn, it was ugly. Macho Man was coming in, and they didn't know who I was. There's some guy got in a fight in the hallway. We started in the bedroom and ended up in the hallway. But Randy's coming in. I'm cuffed up going out, and they were all like, "Randy Savage!" I'm talking about the police. There's like 3 or 4 of them. "Randy Savage, oh, Macho Man, oh, that's crazy." He goes, "You, what's going on here?" And they're like, "Oh, they got." He goes, "Well, I know him." And they said, "Well, there was a big fight upstairs." He goes, "They're working an angle. That's what we do. It's a storyline." And they said, because I had blood all over. It looked like you gutted a deer, you know, for y'all to hunt. Blood all over the thighs, blood all over here. And I'm so sorry about that. You know that, Shawn. I already told you I was sorry. But they said, "Look at all the blood." He goes, "Blood capsules, haven't you heard?" and they wanted autographs. He goes, "You will let him go, and I'll sign all the autographs." And he signed a bunch. It was so funny.
So he traded 8x10 pictures for your freedom.
Yeah. He signed them all for the police guys, and they said, "Well, okay, but if we come back, we got to take it. If it continues."
Yeah, if it got worse.
And me and him walked to the elevator. He goes, "Brother, what the hell's going on?" Because he had no clue, you know, what was really happening. And I told him Shawn was Shawn. He goes, "I knew this was going to happen." I love Randy. I miss him.
Moving along, SummerSlam 1989, it was the infamous Mean Gene interview. He was getting ready to interview Bobby Heenan and Rick Rude, I believe, before the Intercontinental title match, and the SummerSlam sign collapsed like sometimes parts of our set do, and Mean Gene reacted almost like I do, and he just screamed, "Fuck it!"
Do you know when they did that? There's one show, I don't know, Grand Rapids, Michigan or somewhere,
Yeah.
that, you know, they always planted a model too. It was always a beautiful girl. There was a plant, you know, they
Yeah.
put them out there. And Rick would bring them to the ring, kiss them down, you know, and all that
Did
shit.
Mean Gene say "fuck it" to that too? or-
No, no.
all right.
One of my tag team partners, and I won't say Shawn Michaels, because I think he might have been married, but I had already been with her in the mouth. And so when Rick started kissing, we're all, because they have the camp, you know, the closed circuit, we're all like, ah, goddamn. And when Rick came back, everybody's like, how did Shawn's dick taste? Not to Shawn, I shouldn't have said nothing. How did Shawn's dick, I said it again. How did, okay, fuck it. How did Shawn's dick taste? And Rick was like, what? Rick got mad as fuck.
Was it common for these Rick Rude extras to engage with the boys?
No, that
before
was the
or
only
after
one.
the
I mean, it
events?
could have been, but that's the only one I know
So these
of.
were actual models. These weren't. you
Yeah,
know,
they get them
groupies.
from every town we go to.
Oh,
They'd hire them, you know, from a modeling agency or some kind of shit.
and she was just enticed by the, you know, an early '90s Shawn Michaels.
I don't think you raped her mouth.
No, that wasn't my point. No, I.
What was your point?
No, she was kind of smitten with them, I guess, in more ways than one.
Smitten and spitting.
Well, anyway, back to Mean Gene. He had a real slip of the tongue when that sign fell over. You can hear someone in the
was so
background
funny,
saying,
man.
"Good
I love
one." I
him.
think it might have been Vince McMahon. Gene was known to enjoy a beverage or a few. Was that something that would?
You know what? I probably had his last drink with him.
Really?
We did a
His
convention.
last drink.
Yeah, because he died. You know, he died.
I know that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we were, I would say Days of the Dead, which is a pretty good, my brother Gonzalez runs that. But it was some kind of convention. He was there, and me and him hung out, and, you know, we partied up. I mean, he was a controlled partier. Myself, shit, I might be on the roof in a little bit. Me and Gene was just, you know, he'd drink his drinks and, you know, hug a girl here and there and go home. Yeah.
I told you I'm disappointed. We were reached out to him not too long before he passed about trying to get him in the studio, and I just think between his days working in radio and the AWA and WWF and then WCW and then going back as an almost WWE ambassador, the stories would have been endless.
Okay, brother?
Almost like you.
Okay? Okay.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
That's good. Well, at least you got backup now, this episode.
Yeah, anything goes wrong.
I lost my train of thought there for a second.
Oh,
I told you, I mean, just imagine when they did that reality show on WWE Network.
Oh,
Legends
man, I
House.
don't.
For 8 weeks,
I
Mean
think
Gene
Jimmy
had
Hart put that together.
Mean Gene had to room with Tony Atlas. Now
I
I have
love
a difficult.
Tony, stop calling me a damn racist.
I have a difficult couple of hours with Tony sometimes when it's like the world's oldest 66-year-old.
Look at that big ass
I have
head
to
you had,
babysit.
and that was before Saba Simba.
All right, well.
I love you though. Stop calling me a racist.
Oh.
That's a horrible accusation.
He said Mean Gene.
You know he called Tracy Smothers a racist
I
because he went out with
remember.
the
It was on this
rebel
show.
flag.
Yeah.
Well, goddamn, you did damn Saba Simba.
All right, well.
Fuck? We do what they tell us to do.
I asked him what Mean Gene's favorite beverage was, and he said a wet one.
A wet one?
Yeah. He said from the morning they woke up until the morning they went to bed, Mean Gene and Patterson, outside of the little skits and field trips
A
they'd
wet one.
take, they'd be outside playing cards on the lanai and the
You
beautiful
said cards?
cards. And the beverages were flowing. He said Howard Finkel was the bartender, so poor Howard got put to, he was making drinks
he
for
died.
everybody all day. I knew that too. They weren't allowed to do TV, to watch TV. They weren't allowed to talk on their phones, so there was really very little for them to do outside of being recorded. And I guess, Gene, that was
30.
how he passed the
There's
time.
a 30, I think.
Oh, that was the 20. Thank you,
That's a
Jackie.
20?
I tell you, Jackie the Joke Man is tremendous.
Joe,
Thank you, brother.
humor might be his middle name, but business is his game when it comes
I
to
gotta
Wrestling
pee. I gotta
Inside a
pee.
Party with Marty. What's that?
I gotta pee.
Well, you know what? I think wrestling fans, that's perfect. Right now, why don't we take a brief timeout? We come back, we'll talk more about SummerSlam 1989, the year that was 1989, with the man that lived
What
it.
was the main thing you wouldn't know about 1989 SummerSlam?
We'll get there.
You want to do it
We talked
on
about
TV?
Gene's sign.
Huh?
Gene and the sign was the last point of
That
reference
was
we
pretty
made.
good, though.
All right, let's take a brief timeout,
All right, love y'all.
fans. We'll be back in just a moment.
The World Wrestling Federation was live at the Boston Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, Saturday, May the 13th, 1989. In the opening contest, the Red Rooster beat the Brooklyn Brawler. Barry Horowitz with the win over Dusty Wolf. Tom McGee defeated Tim Horner. The Warlord victorious over Coco Beware. The Rockers beat the Rougeau brothers. King Jim Duggan with the win over Haku. Duggan won the crown from Haku that morning on WWF Superstars. Zeus was interviewed leading up to the premiere of WWF No Holds Barred the movie, and in the main event, Big John Studd defeated Andre the Giant via disqualification. If you were in Boston Live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the link in the description box to keep wrestling legends working in our eBay store. Boston wrestling sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll Journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view, watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.